Yeah, the crawler wild's always bringing me home. Crawler wild's always bringing me home. Crawler wild's always bringing me home.
Hello, wild ones. Welcome to another episode of the Find Your Wild podcast. I'm so excited to have Shaun Jones of the TheYox2Experience here with me today. How are you doing, Shaun?
Awesome. Thank you for inviting me here. This is awesome. This is I've
Yes.
been I've been keeping an eye on you. You've been doing an awesome job.
Oh, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. This has been the best part about doing this is connecting with awesome people like yourself and your girlfriend Joey, which
Mm.
listeners, you would have noticed that she was on a couple of podcast episodes ago, and that's how we connected.
Yeah, that was when you guys did that podcast. That was like our last maybe 2 weeks in Ecuador.
Yes. Yeah.
hmm So yeah, now
um,
we're in Peru.
oh, cool. Wow. I've always wanted to go. Oh, sorry guys, my dog's barking. So, I've always wanted to go to Peru too. How is this your first time in Peru now?
Yes, so everywhere that we've been in South America has been my first. I've never been out of the States.
Wow.
So
So this has
all of
been the
everything is new. Yes.
wow, that's so cool. How's it like your first experience been out of the country and being in South America now?
So the experience is, I mean, I'm all about experience, hence the name. I'm there for the
Yes.
experiences. Uh, but I don't know, you know how you can almost be like a natural. It doesn't bother me at all. Here and there, like, the only thing that did kind of bother me was in Ecuador. Just because of the hydroelectricity and no rain.
Mm,
Because if you don't have any rain there's no electricity. So that was probably the only issue. Um,
yeah.
but you know, I'm already mentally prepped for it to not be perfect and to be without luxuries and that we would
Right.
normally have in the States like hot showers. I mean, we have hot showers in Ecuador, but here in
Right.
Peru we don't because it's so hot
Mm.
you don't even care about the hot
Right. Yeah, I'm sure it's like you kind of just rinse off and then you go back to sweating again.
shower. Yep, yep.
Right.
As soon as you dry off, just sweat is coming out your pores.
I was just saying that it's probably so hot that you probably just like rinse off and then you go back to sweating anyway. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. Once you like, really dry yourself off, it's back to sweating.
yeah, it makes you appreciate the little things in life, right? Like how hard it is just to
That's
get even electricity, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what's been happening. I've been able to appreciate a lot of the small things, and also the resources here are different from home. You can't just, for example, let's just say the internet or Wi-Fi, for example. I mean, you can't just anywhere just hop on your phone and let me check this. You really have. I mean, they have cards here where you can, it's called Claro, where you can. It's like one of the chips that you like a prepaid.
Sure,
So,
right.
but in certain places, it's hard to get signal because we're in the jungle all the time. So, uh,
Right.
in the city parts, I'm pretty sure it's easier for people to use that.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear about your story and why I reached out cuz it's cool you and Joey are an awesome power duo and you both have such really cool and interesting stories. So you used to have a reptile shop and you're from Texas or where are you from originally?
So I'm from Washington D.C.
Oh, okay.
And I came to Texas about 4 years ago.
Mhm.
And shortly after that, I opened up the business, and it was just that was just my Texas experience. Me running, having my own facility. Literally, I moved to Texas in September. 2020 during the whole
Mhm.
COVID era. And once once the new year came, that's when I wanted to open up my business. I found out what I wanted to do to make, to make money. So it started out as a money thing. I was trying to provide animals for people, and I was doing this out of my house before I had a store. Yeah, so it was during the COVID thing. So September, I moved to Texas, and then in 2021 in February, that's when I got the keys to my first shop.
Oh wow,
So
that's awesome.
yeah, so it's this month will be, February, that'll be. So, I'm not running, I'm not open anymore, but that's like a special time for me. That's when I officially made some history. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was the first black-owned reptile facility in Texas.
Wow. What did that feel like for you? That must have been like really amazing, such hard work, right?
Yes, so it was really, while you're in it, you don't really feel or see it how everyone else sees it. You accomplished these things, but the feeling that other people get from it, they see what you're doing and things like that. Like because you got to continue business, you got to continue running, making sure everything is good. You can't
Right.
really be stuck in a moment for too long. You got to acknowledge it, celebrate if you will, or whatever, and then keep moving.
And then keep going with the hard work, right?
Yeah, yep, keep doing it.
So, what made you want to open a reptile store to begin with? Like, where did your love of reptiles come from?
So my mom would always have these. Well, she would always have keep turtles or frogs
Mhm.
in the house. Um, my dad had an albino. I want to say it was probably a boa or a ball python. I don't know. I was really young, so I don't know which one it was, but I know it
Right.
was albino, which led to me being attached to albino ball pythons and
Mhm.
wanting to create my own. So that's what I did. I set out to that goal. I bought a baby albino ball python 3 years ago. I raised him up to the point where he can become a breeder. And then I bought two females for him, raised them up, and then I created my own albino babies every year as
Mhm.
I ran my store. So that was a personal goal that I set out to.
That's beautiful. So, do you still have him now, or is he like with somebody while you're traveling, or?
Yeah, so I actually had to rehome all my animals. So I had to sell some of them, some that I like. I was attached to all of them, but smaller ones that I could actually get back, and ones that had like a huge sentimental value.
So you said that you rehomed all of your animals from the
Hmm.
shop and your personal animals as well.
Yes, yes. So my buddy has a lot of my the animals that I really really needed that I wanted back. So he has them. So when I go back, he has a shop in Alabama. So
Oh, great.
when I go back, I'll be visiting him and picking up some of my animals,
Right, right.
yeah, picking up
And
the kids from Uncle Don's.
right, exactly. That way you know they're in good hands and being
Yeah,
well taken care of, and you're
and
free to now explore
he's
your.
continuing the interaction and the tour process at his shop as well. He was inspired by my shop, so I'm
That's
glad that
great.
he opened up a shop and started as well doing continuing on what we love to do, and that opened up something for me where I can leave some of my animals with him, and they can continue um, getting that community love, that store love, from the people from his tours. Let's see. Move this again. I just moved it again, so hopefully we can. Hopefully this works.
Okay, great. I remember the last point of what you said. So your friend is continuing on with, your animals and because he has
And
a
with his
store that he
own as
opened.
well. Yeah, he has
That's
his
awesome.
own. But I got some of my kids there, and they're doing what they was already doing, and that's teaching a community about these reptiles that we keep and
That's
how
ama-
great they are.
that's amazing. That's so powerful too, and to be able to connect with animals. And I think that it's kind of interesting because reptiles are very um they just seem like it's like a very easy step to actually like connect with them through education. Like it's easier than bringing out like, say like these more wild animals or
Yeah,
something like that. It's far easier to be able to connect and educate with people um with the reptiles and everything.
yeah. A lot of people are also afraid of them. And that is also the beauty of it. I love those kind of people who come in afraid because I get to now be that gateway to you possibly getting your own.
Yeah. And they're so important to the environment too. Like they're just a very important niche that reptiles have in making sure that the environment stays in such good shape too. So they're vital and it's very important to break that fear
Oh
with
yeah,
people to be able to help them understand.
yeah. Because what I've already done, like in Texas, rattlesnakes and all. Anywhere you go, I mean, it's really snakes. People are afraid of them because they come into their homes or in the garages or something like that. Um, but I was able to connect people with the idea of, all right, look, if you kill this rattlesnake, you're taking away a food source for another snake. Because there's another snake in the wild that eats the rattlesnake, which is called a
Mhm.
king snake. So, and if you kill this king snake, which is what people do, they like to cut the heads off with a shovel or cut them in half. So
Oh,
none of that. I don't condone any of that. So people come in my shop and say, "Oh man, only good snake is a dead snake." I'm, I'm not putting you out, but if you're disrespectful, I will have to put you out. But I'm going to educate you first before taking it there.
right, of course. Yeah, because it would be so great to be able to change their mind, right?
Yeah,
Like you said,
yeah,
that's the best part about hopefully talking with those type of people, right? That they have a certain mindset on what animals are and it's just a snake. It's just an animal, but the value
exactly.
of that animal, you
Oh yeah.
know?
So like back to the ecosystem. So if you're killing the animal, then you're disrupting the balance. So, for example, you kill this king snake, the venomous snake that or the copperhead that you're complaining about, that king snake is the answer to your problem. So if you kill this king snake is it cannot eat or take care of your problem. Like just like with house corner spiders, like if you kill
Hmm.
this corner spider, you're going to continue having little gnats, flies, whatever. Let it be. Let those little corner spiders, jumping spiders, let them live in your home. They're not
Right.
trying to deal with you at all.
Yeah.
They're actually helping you.
Yeah, I met one of my friends at Animal Con in October, and her name's Jess, and she's a jumping spider breeder.
Okay.
And I don't know, like she helped me to like appreciate spiders more, because they are just kind of like freaky. I mean, I always try
But
to
they're
bring
really
them
cute.
outside, but
They're really
yeah,
cute. If you get really close to them and look, their little hands go like this, and
they're
their
actually
little
so
fingers.
cute. They are a whole new appreciation for
Oh yeah,
spiders. And yeah, I live also, my backyard happens to be very mosquito-y.
yeah.
So I have a whole new appreciation for them.
Yeah, so if you get a spider web that covers the top portion of like your banner or something, that's your net right there for all the mosquitoes. Because all they're gonna do is fly through it. Let them just let it happen.
Yeah. And like in the summer when I see them, building up their webs, I'm like cheering them on. I'm like, get
Yes,
them.
yep. That's how it was in my store too. Because I'm dealing with
Yeah.
reptiles. In the summertime in Texas, flies are just a nuisance. Like
Mhm.
you just get them. I mean, also because I'm keeping wild animals or just animals inside of this big establishment. So there's always like either because I had all like herbivores, omnivores, and carnivores. So I had a lot of food, and when they would use the bathroom, I mean, flies would just get in. So those little bugs or whatever that were in the corners let them be. And I try to tell people, they'll tell me, hey, you got this spider right. Right. You see all those flies that they collect right there, or the nuts or whatever? That's why they're there. You don't see any buzzing around here, do you? Nope.
Right, right, exactly. They're helping me out.
Yep.
Um, and what made you want to transition to sell your store and now do what you're focusing on now?
So as time passed, I started. It was never about the money for me. Like that whole money thing just went out the window. Like my first year. Because I started learning energy. I started being, I was by myself. So I started to learn energy. And then as I started to learn that and get more in tune with myself and my animals, and also doing more research, like looking at just a lot of documentaries, listening to people like Paul Rizzoli, his podcast, and Joey introducing me to what he does and everything. And I just start going down a whole different, like my mind took just a turn. And it was just like, I want to, I want to contribute to the wildlife. I have really good skills that I've learned here in my shop. And I've reached so many people with what I was already doing. I've been in the newspaper, I've been in magazines, I've been on TV, all these things that people want. I've done that with my business. So I'm like, it's time. I can give it up. And I want to go in now. Everything I've learned on my own with these animals, I can now take this to somewhere bigger, somewhere that really needs me.
It's amazing. And it's also I love that you've taken what you've learned, especially with the energy, which I want to hit on that too, but um being able to you have like a specific insight now from owning your store and working with the animals that you had there, to be able, and I know that you see some of the animals now in the
Hmm.
wild that you had in your store. It's
That's
such
the
a unique
beauty.
aspect to be able to know all that.
Yeah, and that's what makes what I'm doing. I feel a little more unique or different, because it's not just your person saying, oh, "Okay, I'm gonna go be a volunteer or help wildlife." I've been on one side of the fence, with the business part and keeping animals in cages and this and that, which I'm not against it, but I'd rather not do that. I mean, obviously when I
Sure.
go back home, I still have my pets, and they have to go in enclosures, and I make sure that they have the best as I did, a few months ago. But it's the way that people are doing it, with like wild caught animals, getting them imported and stuff like that. That's where the problem can occur, because these
Right.
animals should be wild. There should be no need to import. Um, there's a difference with breeding. If you want to
Of
breed,
course.
someone doing a project conservation, you want to bring animals like how zoos do. They take an animal from, do their conservation, they'll breed it, introduce them back to the wild and repopulate.
Right.
And in the reptile world, that's really not what they're, or like with dogs, you know, like it's oversaturated with breeding, this, you know, and it's
Right.
like, it's people that really do love the hobby, like people breed ball pythons and breed reptiles. There's people that really do love these. I have tons of friends that breed reptiles and that I've bought from, and now, yeah, you know, I'm just on the other side of the fence, so I'm looking at it in two different angles now. Like I said, I don't
Right.
dislike it, but I feel like we can, you know, people who are doing it in a good way. You know, there's a good way and a bad way.
Of course, it's a very delicate balance, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
even just
yeah,
with everything, especially in nature, everything
yeah.
is a delicate balance. And I feel like there's always going to be good and bad in everything, right? So there's going to
Oh
be
yeah.
people out there, doing it for the right reasons. My friend Grace, she actually is a hognose snake breeder, and
Oh sweet.
yeah, and I'm actually releasing her episode soon, but when she's talking about it, she's like, I know that they can live to be longer than in captivity than they are now, and she's trying to do the best to make sure that they're very healthy. And I think that, like you said, that it's also good that there's breeders. Like you don't want those animals going in, or right, like they can't go
Well,
into the
those
wild.
animals, yeah, no, those animals shouldn't be. If you're captive breeding these animals should not be let outside, taken or just let into the wild. You know, like how people do with cats. They get cats, they just put them outside. The cats can be a distraction to the ecosystem as well. I mean, they're predators, you know. So um,
Right.
you just that's just something. It's just a lot of different categories that you can we can speak on. It's just-
Right. Because,
But
right. The reason why I asked with snakes is because, I mean, it makes sense why, I would automatically assume you wouldn't be able to release them into the wild, but
they wouldn't
I
survive.
didn't know if they're more of like a reptile, they just go back to their kind of like instincts. So, but that makes
I mean,
sense.
they
Yeah.
have their instincts, but some of these animals that people are breeding, like for instance, ball python, they come from Africa. They cannot
Hmm.
survive here in the wild in any of these conditions. They can't survive. They, if you want to breed ball pythons and send them to Africa, that's a thing. Because Africans are doing that. They're breeding,
Hmm.
and I've seen a documentary where certain few are putting them back in the wild, and a certain few are sending them, exporting them over. Yeah, exporting them over here to America, to the States.
Right. Yeah. That's, I can see how that can get really, really
It can
tricky
get
too.
messy. Yeah, it's tricky. Sometimes it can get messy. You know, it's a lot with the. You just got to know. You just got to be sharp and know what what you're doing it for. You know, you gotta just do it for the right reason. It has to be ethical.
Yeah, absolutely. And how is it like now on the other side, and just being more immersed in like being with the wildlife now, and everything?
uh, like my view towards the reptiles and like what like people keeping reptiles and things like
Or
that.
like because now you're with Joey and you're in the wild and you guys are doing like nature walks, and
Mhm.
like what's it like to be able to like actually see and find some of those animals now like in the wild?
It's I would rather definitely do this for the rest of my life. Like this year
Yeah.
versus having a store or something. Like I mean, we're not getting paid for this, you know. So this is something that I would love to do, you know, for the rest of my life. And
Yeah.
just going out finding these animals, you, you can't compare it to any what do you call it experience of oh man I just seen or oh I got this boa here and a nice enclosure. It's unmatched. I'm
Yeah.
finding we were finding these animals in the wild and introducing these experiences to people. And then, it's really cool because now I can introduce the animals that I used to keep in the store. I'm finding them outside, and now I can show people their natural habitats, and that also helps with the keepers as well. Like, I can show where I found them, and that helps with their husbandry, and it's just I don't know. It's helping in so many ways.
It's so interesting too that like I love this like kind of like dual aspect of how you could also help to have that people that have them at home, like those animals can't be releasable anyway, but the to help them with their husbandry. I think that's like a big thing in the pet industry, especially when I went to Animal Con, which was really cool. And there was
Hmm.
obviously a pretty big focus on reptiles there, was
Hmm.
the husbandry aspect and how pet care has gotten so much better, especially for reptiles, it seems. I mean, I'm not a reptile expert. I mean, I had a leopard gecko and my brother rather had a leopard gecko when I was younger.
Yeah,
Um, but it's so much different now and it's better.
it is. No, but and Animal Con was I think it was created by Brian Barshak, who passed away
Yes.
last year. He
Yeah.
was my mentor. That's who I spoke with a lot when I had my questions, and he's the one that got me into the reptile. Like he coming across his video is what, like 4.5 years ago, coming across his video on YouTube when I searched how to handle a snake. His video came up, and that's what kickstarted all this reptile stuff in my brain. I just went down a rabbit hole, and then watching him uh, interact with all these different kinds of animals, colorful animals, teaching about them, watching him do that, and then now for me to be doing that as well. Like, I've been my pythons and I've showed the whole process. I have a bunch of loads of videos. I've documented everything from
Yeah.
start to finish with my story, and it's all on YouTube. So taught people how to hold snakes, taught people how to like diets. Like, I went down a whole list of how to just care for reptiles.
Yeah, that was so sad. He really seemed like such a like a beautiful soul and
He,
had
he,
everybody
he
that I
was.
think yeah, everybody that has something to say about him always has something really nice to say. So,
I'm
definitely
I'm
such a
I'm
beautiful
I'm honored
legacy.
to even to know him, and to have known
Yeah.
him and to speak to him on the phone and just general casually talking, like just hey, I called him Uncle B. Hey, how you doing today, Uncle B? I got a question for you, and he'll reach back out to me and say, "Oh man, you're doing a great job with this cage." Because as I was building, coming up, as I was building all my enclosures, that's who I would go to like, hey, does this look good? He's like, you're doing a great job.
Oh,
That's what this animal needs. So, and honestly, after he passed away, I feel like my love for the shop thing
yeah.
kind of left with him.
Oh, yeah.
So
I
there,
can see that. Yeah, because you
because
had such a
every
connection
yeah,
with building with him.
yeah,
You know.
it was almost like I was building alongside with him as he was, doing his thing and creating the new legacy aquarium. And I went to Universal Rock and I saw all his enclosures because I work closely with Universal Rock for my stuff because
Mm,
they were in Dallas, Texas, and I'm in
okay.
Waco, so
Yeah.
we would drive to them like an hour and a half away, and we would go to their facility. Stewart would be like, just pick out stuff and take it with you and go build at your shop. Go be creative. I love seeing you do it. So
Oh,
but seeing being able to, and this is also on YouTube as well. Him taking me through and showing me how he created Brian's new enclosures that are now in the Legacy Aquarium.
wow.
Um, and then I called Brian after we left. He was like, "How's my cages looking, man? I'm so ready for him. Do you think Stewart did a good job?" I was like, "Yeah, he rocked it. Like man, it was Joey has that conversation on her phone. She recorded it.
Oh,
It was so I'll forever be grateful. And that was the last time we spoke on the phone. I'll forever honor that moment.
oh, I'm so sorry for your loss too, because I know he was, again, what a beautiful legacy and
Yeah.
just so many connections he had with people in the reptile community and like just showing people how to do the right thing and
hmm
focus on the the great husbandry and how important that side of having a pet really is, uh
Yeah.
you know especially the type of animals. And I also wanted to ask you too about the energy you were talking about, like when you were in the store and connecting with those animals and how that kind of brought your focus now to what, like, connecting more with the wildlife aspect.
So that energy is something that you can't just force, or you can't. That energy has to come to you. You know, like that. It's something that has to just. I don't know. It has to just happen. And me spending hours and hours and nights and days in my shop after closing hours, before I open, just sitting in a cage, sitting in front of a cage, just staring. You know, not saying nothing. Have some maybe some soft music playing in the back, or 'cause I had a bunch of filters. So water is my therapy. Like so, when I hear water crashing, like from a filter, like my Cayman pond, my anaconda enclosure, all that stuff, like all the water systems going. Um, and also I would put on like I would just set the tone. So it would be like the ambience from the jungle, like the little bird. You can hear the birds, you can hear the monkeys, all that. Um, Along with the water crashing in my facility and all. It just set a whole tone, and it was like this is. I would sometimes close my eyes and imagine myself being in the jungle. And for me to like finally like actually be here is still unreal to me. Like
Yeah.
it's like it's almost like I almost manifested that um like all this because
Yeah.
I would literally sit in and Joey would tell you even before I met Joey, like I would sit in my store and just look at an animal and I'd be just it'd be I wouldn't have to say anything. It's almost like a telepathic thing with the animals. You just looking, watching them, and while they're watching you, and it's something that I'll never forget. But that energy there is something they helped me become a better person as well. Like these animals helped me uh channel a calm spirit and or I guess bring out this calmer spirit in myself with animals.
Hi, wild ones. I hope you're enjoying this episode of the Find Your Wild podcast. This episode is sponsored by my clothing brand, Femme Sauvage, and you can find a discount code and link in the description. So check it out. We have a lot of amazing designs, and $5 of the proceeds goes to different charities. So please feel free to check it out and enjoy the rest of the episode. Thanks so much. Yeah, it helps you to,
Which was probably already there this whole time, but
right.
being there, it's something that I is unexplainable. I mean, it's just something. It's an energy thing, you know. Just gotta have it.
Absolutely.
It's a
I
natural
I
energy
believe,
that occurs.
yeah, I believe that 100%. And I'm sure it's the fact that it helps you to slow down and just really be in the moment. And I think, especially with snakes, right? Like, because, I mean, they can go fast, but I think,
Yeah,
they are kind of slower sometimes. And, like,
yeah.
they're slinky, but
The big ones
their
can
energy
be
helps
pretty
you
slow.
slow down.
Yeah. So for example, uh, me and I get anxious and anxiety and I would get really, like, let's say I have a tour coming or something, um, or if I'm feeling depressed or sad, like, cause being a business owner, you go through all these emotions, like, 'cause you can have bad days, good days, worse days, all these things can occur. And these
Yeah.
animals, I would take out one of my animals, like Slick the retic. She's my reticulated python that I used to have. She was about 13 feet. I would let her take her out. She would wrap around my body, and you know what? Like those heavy blankets that help people with
Yep.
stress or whatever. That's pretty much like what she would do. She would come around. She would just slither on me and wrap around my waist like a belt, and that would just be like her big hug, and I would just it would just help me um calm down and uh helps me breathe because people think, oh man, she's squeezing you. Actually, that squeeze is helping relieve whatever stress I was going through.
Right. It was
So
like a
it wasn't
healthy
it wasn't like a
squeeze.
yeah, it wasn't like a tight squeeze like, oh, I can't breathe. It was more of a just it's just nice and snug like a sweater, you know?
Yeah.
And you know how a nice snug sweater or thermal, how that feels. It feels really good on
Yeah, like a good hug or like
you.
a nice hug from like a family member or like I love that weighted blanket
Hmm. Hmm.
visual too. That definitely seems accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what she would do. Like, that's what my snakes did for me. The lizards, some of my lizards I couldn't really hold, but just was just watching them. And then I'll mention this too. I don't know if you've seen any of my enclosures, but the reason that I constructed my enclosures the way that I did was because I've never been to any of these places where they come from. Never been to any of them, but I'm a very visual person, and I wanted to bring that environment to me. So if I couldn't go there, I wanted to bring it to me. So I constructed it, did so much research, and made sure that I brought either Indonesia to me, South America to me, Africa. I brought all of these different countries, continents, whatever, Australia.
Mhm.
I brought it all to me. So I had all these different structures, all these different countries. So I could go to, if I wanted to, I could go to South America. I can just go sit right there in my South America exhibit, and feel like I'm here. But now I'm actually here. So it's like, I've never been to those places, but I definitely made it happen in my shop.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the type of husbandry too that's like you want to if you're going to keep an animal like especially a more exotic animal like a reptile or something, I think
Hmm.
that putting them in their more natural environment, you want to see more natural behaviors. That's why most people, I guess I don't want to assume, but I'm sure that's why most people, good pet owners um want those type of pets is because of that visual aspect, the husbandry, like you want to see their natural behaviors.
Yeah. Yeah. It's therapeutic. Like, it's the little things for me. It's really like just, like I said, just sitting there watching my snapping turtle in his cube of water. I don't
Yeah.
know if you've seen the trailer, but his name was Bowser. But his cube that he's in, that was my
Mhm.
favorite spot to sit in front of and just watch him
Oh,
just be at the bottom of his tank or just it was very therapeutic. Like, I can remember it. Obviously, it's something that will
yeah.
stay with me forever.
I love that. Um, I love the piece that it brought you to. With with what you and Joey are doing now, what are some of the animals that you're connecting with now?
So I've connected with like Joey has done this already. So these are all new things for me. I'm connecting with red hollow monkeys, spider monkeys, woolly monkeys, a bunch of birds like the red, green, and blue macaw, the blue and
Mm.
yellow macaw, even the different reptiles that are just around. We see them, the reptiles. We
Yeah.
saw a caiman about 2 nights ago. We're gonna try to
That's so
see if we
cool.
can go and find them again today. Uh,
Oh, that's awesome.
there's just so many, yeah, all those animals there. We have a ton of monkeys at the facility right now that we have to care for every single day.
Yeah. And that's what like a lot of people I think that's like something that's not appreciated enough is like how much like care goes into healing and then helping to get these animals either back into the wild or just taking
Hmm.
care of them for their life, if they can't
Yeah,
be released.
yeah. So that's also what's happening. We are preparing majority of these animals to be rewilded. They were wild animals once, but unfortunately, you have people that want to go out and shoot and illegal trade. Like the whole illegal pet trade or whatever. Like they want to sell these animals and just take them out of the wild, which is really, really, really bad. It hurts the ecosystem, like we were talking about. It really disrupts the balance.
Yeah. One of the ones that I found really interesting was the ocelot and you guys catching the fish for the ocelot and how many fish you had to catch for
Yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah. Simba, he's so that was in Ecuador. He was yeah, we had to catch like 20 fish. I wasn't good at it. Joey loved to do it. I wasn't good at catching the fish at all. Um, but it was very time consuming and frustrating because as soon as you put the bait in, you put it in the water, they'll just eat whatever bait it is, and as soon as you think you got one, nope, you don't have nothing.
Oh,
So, but that was also an experience. That was really, really cool to be able to catch all these fish and give him give him his meal and watch him eat it, and just that whole thing was also new for me. Like I said, every experience that I've been encountering has been new.
yeah.
So
What's
I've just
been
been like overstimulated. I've been overwhelmed. All these I've just been like a kid at Toys R Us. Like I'm like I don't know which aisle to go down.
right.
And this
Yeah.
is me every day, every single day.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's like even though you're used to the cleaning out cages and things
Hmm.
like that, there's a whole different aspect to I'm sure these type of animals
Yeah, oh
that
yeah,
you're taking
huge,
care of
huge
now.
difference.
Yeah,
Yep, this is a huge difference, but also the same concept, but it's a huge difference in
right.
the way that you have to clean the cage. I'll give you an example. So for let's say I had to clean a lizard's enclosure. We would have to put him inside of a bin, so that he won't be stressed out while we're cleaning. We'll take it out, put it inside of a bin, with some shallow water, just so that he can, because warm water helps the animals use the restroom. So they
Mm,
would poop inside that water. Um, and yeah, we'll just seal it, put them to the side, go in, vacuum, use the shop vac, vacuum, wipe down, disinfect, whatever, change out all the bedding, clean the water. But we were doing that like once a day though. So, but with the monkeys, they get this twice a day.
oh
So they
wow.
get meals twice a day. They get water changes 3 times a day, and and with them we have to put them on one side of the enclosure, like pull the lever down, the,
Right.
the thing down. So I have a video on my Instagram showing the process of that. Uh, pull it, it comes down so that they can be on this side, so it won't stress them out. Plus, they don't need human interaction anyway if they're going to be rerouted, so they don't need it.
Right.
Um, but yeah, you clean off whatever it is, get a brush, whatever broom, you scrub the floor, scrub the feeding platform, clean the pool, whatever. That's That's twice a day.
Yeah, it's a lot
That's
of it's a
that's
lot
a
of
lot of
work.
yeah, that's a lot of
Yeah,
work because it's really like big enclosures. You walk in, they got this huge area that you got to clean, and with the little reptiles, I had some big enclosures with my reptiles, but with the reptiles, they would probably poop or pee, depending on which one it was, maybe twice or three times a week. So it wasn't an
right.
everyday thing where you had to do like this mass clean. It was like every 3 days you do this big old clean. They'll leave this big chunk of poop in the corner,
Little
and
easier.
it was a little easier, with reptiles. Yeah.
Right. Because they
And
don't
also
they
the
don't eat.
feeding, the snakes feed once a
Right.
week. Some of the lizards you would feed them maybe uh, depending on the size. Like if you got an Asian water monitor that's like 5 foot, that one eats every 2 days.
Right.
If you got a baby one, they can eat every day. So you got to know all these different. I had to learn every single thing. I didn't have it written down or anything. It was just up here, and that's just something that I was doing because it was my daily routine.
Right. Yeah, and it's like that type of intricacy too in
Hmm.
animal care, um especially in exotic animal care too.
Hmm.
It's not like it's not as easy as a dog or a cat.
No,
It's
nope.
a lot of knowledge, a lot of research, and also I know a lot of what like Joey and I talked about too is like bettering education. So
Hmm.
like continuing to learn and best practices that are continually being discovered.
Absolutely, and that's another thing that I'm being introduced to here. Tours on a greater scale. So now I'm learning the stories of these monkeys. Like I had all my stories of my animals and how I
Yeah.
got them and where they came from and this that. Now I'm learning different stories. And I did my first tour yesterday by myself, which was amazing because that's something that I love. I love teaching people. That's been my whole mission, like at my facility, doing tours, making sure people have great quality animals, all that. But the tours was my thing. I love to educate. So with me learning these stories of these monkeys, these birds, them coming from abusive places and not being fed proper diets, being taken from the wild, being shot out of a tree, uh,
Gosh.
all these taken from their moms, all these things I'm learning about wildlife, which I didn't know. I didn't know a lot of the monkeys that are in the U.S. that people have, and not like the zoos or sanctuaries there, but just your individuals. They don't even know where these
Right.
monkeys are coming from. These monkeys are being taken from the wild, stripped from the mom. The mom's being killed, and these babies are being sold for tons of money. And you guys are supporting this illegal pet trade.
Yeah.
So, me learning all these things, yeah, on this side of the fence now about primates and other exotic animals, which people still do it with reptiles too, but I'm learning that as well. So that's why I can tell
Right.
people I'm on both sides of it. Look, I know we were supporting this, but now that I'm on this side of it, I can now teach you guys. I can now tell you that the way that we were doing it, may not have been the best or the right way. So that's why I feel like I've been put here to to show both sides of it. But back to the tours. We'll get back to that. The
Yeah,
tours.
yeah, but I was gonna say that's a really great perspective of yours that you have because you can give so much insight to both people in the wildlife fields that's really
Mm-hmm.
useful from the pet trade side or like the
Mm-hmm.
pet keeping side, and then also like you said, better educating the pet people to have a healthy balance between what's right and what's wrong,
Right.
to be able to help those in the wild. But um that's awesome about the tours that's your strong suit and like
Yeah,
that
I
you
love it. It makes
yeah
me
did,
happy to make other people happy, like to see them smile. Because I love to demonstrate. I like, okay, I don't touch these animals, but at my shop, I would. take an animal out, or let them feed this animal, or because I had crocodiles and caimans, so I would let them feed a caiman or a crocodile, and let them see the explosiveness of this
Mhm.
crocodile, you know, and or let them see the explosiveness of this snake eating a rabbit or something like that, or whatever it was. But that's this is what I love to do. I love to hear people be like, "Oh, I didn't even know that." You know, like that is those kind of moments are fulfillment to me.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think that there's no better, more important thing besides the actual physical doing of taking care of these animals than education and being able to break that barrier of misunderstanding with people,
Hmm.
um, and bridge that connection with them so that they can hopefully go forward and somebody else that they connect with that give them a better understanding from what they've learned. It's like such a great way to pass on the knowledge.
Yeah, that was a goal of mine. That's how I wanted to. That was what I wanted to do coming into just the like my store. As long as I can change one person's perspective on something, they will go out and teach their people or whatever, or tell these people, hey, don't kill this snake because the snake needs this, or the snake it lives here, it needs to be in the wild so it can whatever for whatever reason, so as I was educating and telling people, not trying to tell them what to do, but giving them some insight on why it's not really the best thing to do.
Right,
They'll
right, exactly.
share that, and then my job is done.
Right, exactly. And I know you guys had someone very exciting come and visit you. Was it yesterday, the day before yesterday?
Yesterday, yep.
So, Paul Rosalie, who's like the protector of the Amazon, I would say.
Oh yeah,
How was that? That seems so awesome. How was it like to connect with him?
that felt like I manifested that one too. I mean, and Joey would tell you, my intuition and things like that. Like my manifestation is very, very strong. Because I put energy into whatever I think about. Energy
Yeah,
goes where energy flow. I mean, energy. What is it? Energy goes where energy flows, or something like that.
I think that's it. Yeah,
And when I put energy into something, it may not be small, it may not be bad, whatever. But it eventually happens because you're continuously putting energy to it and thinking about it. And the things that you're doing are steps in that direction. But that experience was amazing. Like, I mean, I was introduced as the reptile guy here on at the facility at the wildlife rescue center. So the owner, she introduced. She's been working with Paul for a long time.
mm.
So
Oh, great.
so Magali said, once she was introducing the staff, but once she got to me, she's like, Yo, because they call me Yo Yo. They're like Yo Yo. He's he's amazing with reptiles, and he had his reptile shop and this, and just going on, pretty much giving some backstory. Because she's not really fond of the snakes, so every time I find one, me and Joey find one, we just show her at the dinner table, and she's always seeing us with just the wildlife around after we're
Right.
taking care of the animals. So yeah,
Yeah.
she just gave this big introduction for me, and he was filming it too, so he might even show that. Um, and but and then that's when I feel like he took a interest in me because he's out there with the reptile. Yeah, he does. He's with all the wildlife out there, but he loves uh catching those anacondas, and he loves catching those, seeing the anacondas and the crocodiles and caimans. Like that's his thing too. He loves the frogs when he posts all that stuff. We were
Yeah.
sitting at the table eating lunch, and then he shows me
Oh, sorry,
he's
Shaun. It says it's reconnecting.
okay. Uh,
So
are we
sorry,
good?
just you came in and out. So maybe just to go back and because I heard some of what you said, but that you and Paul both connected on um just like the reptiles because he loves all that stuff too.
Right. So once he heard it out, obviously had the reptile store. So he's on one end of the table. I guess he's going through his phone, and as I'm eating, I'm talking to Joey. He's like, yo, look at this, and he's telling someone to here, pass him this, and like he's going past everyone that's sitting at the table to get to me to show me this photo of him with the anaconda, like the big one that he caught.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's showing me that, and I'm like, in my mind, me and Joey just looking at each other like we've already seen this. We know what this is. Like we have to like kind of reserve that excitement at the table. But the photos he's showing, we've seen some of them on Instagram. But
Right.
but the fact that he's trying to speak, he's speaking directly to me. Like every time he gets his phone back, I'm eating, I'm talking to Joey or talking to somebody. He's like, yo, check this out right here. Look, this is this, and this is what I found. And I'm like, we're connected. Now he knows what I'm about. Because that's what he's about. Um, and him being from Brooklyn and Joey being closer, like from working in Manhattan and being on the Jersey side, New Jersey side. Like I said, she introduced me to him, his content and what he stands for a year and a half ago. So I've been watching a lot of his stuff, and yes, I've been a big fan. So
Yeah.
for him to, and I was just telling Joey before we even left Ecuador, I was like, because we was in Banos, we was taking just a weekend to hang out. We were in Ecuador, and I was like, and before we came to this center, I was like, it'd be nice to go to this center. What if we was at this center and you know I start doing tours and cutting trails and working with the monkeys, and we meet Paul Rizzoli, just going listen. And these things are literally happening. And this is before we even decided to come here. I think I was. I also think I was hungover too. From we was like I said, it was a weekend. It was a weekend. You
Hey.
let your hair down, a little bit, and
Yeah.
I was a little hungover, but I knew what I was talking about. Uh, and I put energy.
Manifesting's powerful.
Yeah, and I put energy into that. And also, Harry, from Wild, what's it called?
Yes.
So he's a good friend of mine too. We speak on Instagram a lot. So and for
Harry's
me,
awesome. Yeah.
yes, yes, he is. He's awesome. So also we FaceTime each other one day while me and Joey were in Ecuador, and I'm on FaceTime with him, and Joey comes walking, and she's like, "Is that is that her?" And so for me, for her to meet these people that she has introduced me to, uh, has been like a big flex for me. It's like I didn't know these people until I met Joey,
Yeah.
and now it's like it's gravitating. It's a gravitational pull because I'm like, okay, now I'm fixed on what she's interested in and the people that she's interested in, and fan out about. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a CEO. I'm a boss. So I don't look at it like these people are big, tall, big in any kind of way. I'm looking at them like normal people. Hey, I'm just trying to connect with you. Hey, man. And then uh, for her to just say, oh, man, and just have like a big fan moment. Joey having a fan moment, like
I know, because Joey's so cool.
yeah. But for Joey to have especially her meeting Paul Rizzoli, like that, seeing Joey fan out, that was awesome.
Yeah, it's also just very cool to be able to connect with people that
Yeah,
are very, similar mindsets and like
yeah,
want to do the same thing and
but
like
just for
making
us to all just
friends.
be human, have a human moment.
Yeah,
Everybody just he's interested in what we're doing. He's like, hey, I want you two to come out to where we are, this part of Peru, and come to the Jungle Keepers and come and help me out one day. I mean, we can go herping and we can do this because he knows that we go herping and stuff now. So he was like, here, take my WhatsApp number. He just followed me on Instagram. He was like, yeah, let's stay connected. Let's do this. I'm like, that's the homie now. All right, bet. Let's do it.
That's the nice thing too is, and what I'm realizing also with this podcast is I love the connections I'm making,
Hmm.
especially being like, I'm like 33 now, and it's
Okay.
it's harder to make friends at this age, but when you follow your passion and then you align
Uh-huh.
with people that are thinking the same thing, or align in the same way, and then you're making friends and like connections that way is like so wonderful and genuine, and like you said, it's just like a human thing
Yeah.
that's awesome, you know.
I tell Joey all the time, I'm human. I'm gonna have these human experiences. I love because that's just my thing. I always say that. Like if I'm upset or if I'm having a moment, I'll be like I'll try to tell Joey like if I'm just having a happy human cry moment of excitement or sad or whatever. It's a moment. It will pass, and we'll get back to it. So if I'm upset, I tell Joey, I'm just having a human moment right now. I'll get over it, but I just gotta go through this emotion. I gotta let it flow, and that's what my
Yeah,
animals taught me. That's one thing my animals taught me. So if you're in this, if you're in this space, the worst thing you can do is try to not let it flow. Because if you don't let it flow, or channel the energy into something better or like positive or something, then I don't know, your energy will just be disrupted and because you need it. You need to let emotions naturally flow. Like a lot of people want to be, maybe upset and they don't want to acknowledge that they're upset or something. And I'm just like, yes, yes, I'm upset. Yeah, and I'm going to get over it eventually.
right.
But yes, I'm upset or whatever it is, whatever the case may be. But that's when my animals taught me to actually acknowledge how I feel because they didn't
That's
judge me at all. If I cried in front of them or this happened, whatever, they were my best friends. All those animals were my best friends.
Yeah, that's such an important, I love that point that you made too, because I think that being able to, I feel like sometimes when people want to push away their
Mm-hmm.
emotions, and I found this
Yep.
especially with me because I've been diagnosed with like bipolar disorder. So for me, being able to regulate my emotions was one of my hardest things. But I found that when you are ignoring it and you're pushing your emotions into the shadows instead of, like you said, just acknowledging and letting the emotions actually flow through you,
Mm-hmm.
um, it actually helps to release it. Like you're acknowledging, you
Mm-hmm.
feel it, it's telling you something for a reason, and then letting it go and
Yeah.
moving forward and then being on to
It's
the
a it's
next
a
thing.
it's
It's
a
such,
and people respect it too. Some people
yeah.
it may even scare some people. Some people may not even like it, but you are so in tune with your emotions and yourself. I've had people that where it would rattle a cage sometimes if I tell someone I'm being upfront, I'm being honest. Hey, I'm upset. And I'm upset about this, or it goes the same way as giving someone their flowers. While they're here, I'm big on that. Give like a thing with me and Joey. We knew Paul was coming. And she's like, I don't fan out about nobody. I'm like, man, forget that. Like, I'm gonna give this man his flowers. But she ended up doing it as well. So I was like, see, told you was gonna do it. Cause like
Yeah.
you don't know when you're gonna. They say don't ever meet your heroes or whatever. But the ones that I've been able to meet really like the people who inspire me and I don't care if I just learned about this person and they inspired me or whatever. Like Paul Roselli, I just found out about him a year and a half ago. Him and Harry Turner. Like And for me, within this year, to meet both of them and talk to both of them, it's fucking crazy. Like, and now I'm in the jungle. It's fucking crazy with Joey,
Manifesting
who
that
I
shit.
with Joey, who I looked at one point in time was this the woman of my dream. Dang, I hope she don't have a boyfriend. I hope she don't have a husband. And
Oh,
this, and now I'm here with her a year and a half later.
yeah. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I love all these ways that you're connecting and growing forward, and it seemed like it was a good point in time for you to transition from
Oh
owning the
yeah.
shop to now being with Joey in the jungle.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll be speaking on some of that also, in my documentary.
I can't wait
It's
to watch it.
about 11 minutes. But just a short film, right to the point, telling because a lot of people didn't really know what I was doing it for or why, or you get speculations when something that big, you're finally doing something on a huge scale, and then you close it and you stop. But there's a bigger purpose. I can do this
Yeah.
all day. I don't want to just. I started to. I acknowledge when I start to feel like I'm living in a loop because I get bored really really fast, and it's like if I feel like I'm starting to live in a loop, I step out of that loop and I go and channel my energy somewhere else. So that's what I felt like was happening.
Mm,
Dealing with the same customers, which I love everything about what I'm about to say, but living in a loop, you want something better or different for yourself.
right.
So dealing with the same customers every day, uh, knowing what they want before they even come in. Yep, you want this, right? Yep, 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 yep. Got this. All right, the money, boop, 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 boom, done. Like that is like that continuous thing at the shop was really getting annoying for me. Um, because I started to not like selling animals no more. Like it got to the point where I hated selling animals. I
Yeah.
just wanted to be in my display room where my toys, because it was all broken up in three different sections. It was a 2,100 square foot building.
Wow. Yeah.
And so one section of it, and all of them had doors where you can go through. It was blocked, boarded off. But the front half was the store. The middle was the tour area with all my display cages that I built. And in the back was the cleaning, storage, breeding area. So I really did not want to be up front selling animals and whatever, but I did it because I still love to educate people, take this animal out, show them what's so great about it, tell them what cage it needs to get started and starter kits and this where it comes from, what it eats. All that was just becoming super easy for me. So I just was like, I get bored. And
Right.
I needed some stimulation. I needed
Yeah.
some enrichment for me. So I was like,
You took the words out of my mouth. I was gonna say that you needed enrichment.
yeah, and
You needed
this.
that, right.
I needed a
You needed
shift.
that change.
Yeah. And this is what it was. And I told Joey right before we left Texas, actually, like maybe maybe 2 months, 2 or 3 months before I decided to close my store. I think it was just a normal day. I was just like, I think I picked her up from work. I was like, I feel a cosmic shift coming. I don't know what it is, but I just feel a cosmic shift coming. And that was the shift. Everything just started happening, one thing after another. I didn't like to sell animals anymore. Her job closed down. Her veterinary clinic, they went out of business, and just so many things just started happening because I guess I put energy into it, and I didn't want to do the store anymore. So I feel like she calls me a troll because of everything that I say happens almost. But it's just like I put energy into these things and it happens. So once my mind was made up that I didn't want to sell animals anymore, other things came into play, which made closing the store easier.
Right. It was it's really cool to hear your story and like your mindset and to see how like I could see how the path kind of laid out, right? Like how you you got that inside of you, the manifestation and the putting it out into the universe, and the universe was like, "All right, I got you." You
Yeah,
know?
and that's exactly what it was. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to do this no more. Okay, let's go somewhere else. Let's do it. And
Yeah.
that's what happened. We saved as much money as we could. Once I told her, she thought I was playing. Joe didn't tell you. She thought I was playing because when she first met me and she came to Texas, she moved to Texas with me. She said, for any reason, if anything, if this doesn't work out, that you don't want to do this, we can move to the jungle. But she was playing when she said that, and it wasn't. And that was stuck in the back of my mind when we had that conversation. This was probably within the first month of us living together. So fast forward to a year and a half later, I came to the point where I didn't like selling animals, and I had a new perspective on how animals should be in the wild and this and a new respect for animals. And then it took a turn.
Yeah. It's amazing how that part of your life was still so important to your growth and what you're doing now too, you know, even for you and Joey. Like Joey
Hmm.
had her own path, and then that led to her like being able to do what you guys are doing now.
Hmm.
um it's so awesome.
Yeah, it's a crazy story, but I try to tell people it's real. I mean, and I think that's another reason why a lot of people like what I do is because I'm transparent as well. Like I tell people what's I give people the real spill. There's no sugarcoating anything that I've done. Like as far as like with the animals, this, whatever. The whole path, my journey. I'm upfront with letting people know, hey, this I ain't like this, so I'm doing this now. And
Yeah.
but I still love everything about what I did. Like I said, I still love all the customers. I loved all the animals. I love the whole aspect of children coming into my store and fanning out like, hey, I saw you on YouTube, and people would
Oh,
always come into my shop and say, you the guy that was on TV. You was in the newspaper. You was here. I saw you on YouTube. I saw you on Facebook. This, and people would come to my shop to meet me. Like I've had people come to my shop from the UK just to meet me.
wow.
And like I've gotten a lot of love and I've gotten a lot of hate too. So a lot of people didn't like what I was doing because of, I want to also say, because of this here, in a place because I dominated that area. I'm a black guy in a predominantly white field, I guess. Everybody loves to say, oh, the reptiles is for white people and all that stuff. So I took that and was like, I'm going to show you that someone this color can do it successfully.
Right.
And I did
and
it.
also and also connecting with animals and nature isn't a skin color thing. It's a human primal experience.
Exactly. And that's why I'm out here to do it. Like the tour people yesterday, I told them, they was like, they asked me, uh, do you only get Peruvians that come here to do the tours? I was like, no, we get everyone that comes here. Like, you got white people. I went down the list, but we haven't had any black people yet. I'm the only black person here, and there has been no black people to come to this facility at all.
Hmm.
So I'm just like, I'm here for a reason to show my community that, look, Tarzan isn't the only guy doing this out here, okay? Like, it's other people that own reptiles, and other people, other black people that have pet shops or whatever. It's people, black people that are doing things with animals and reptiles and exotic animals. Like that Tarzan dude isn't the only person just because he's what famous or whatever. There are other
Right.
people, so that's just been my whole, like, I guess, mission as well, to show like my people that, look, you're afraid of it, but I'm gonna show you that this animal isn't as dangerous as you think, or as ugly and mean as you think it is. And that was something I was doing a lot of at my shop. Like, a lot of black people would come to the shop just to meet me, and oh man, you crazy, man, for doing that. But that was just something I had to be open to. I knew that that was going to come as I continued to grow. People will come
Right.
to me, hey man, yeah man, you crazy, you crazy for messing with that snake, man. I tell people I got a 17-foot albino reticulated python. What? You got a crocodile? You got an anaconda? Yes, I have these things. Yes, yes,
Yes. Yeah, and it's the best to lead by example, right? And to just
yeah,
do what you're passionate about and
yeah,
then showcase that anybody
yeah,
can connect, anybody can do it. It's
yeah.
not it's all it takes is to be able to reach out and uh experience it, right? Like your name,
That's
the yo-yo experience,
and
right?
that's
Like
why I made it that,
yeah,
because it is
yeah,
an experience. Everything I do is an experience. Like, I'm showing, even at the center, when we find snakes or whatever, we're introducing it to the people on the center because they don't like snakes either. So we're
right.
showing them, look, there's more than just what we're caring for here on the center. This is part of wildlife as well. So, we're here to teach you the snake, the snakes to look, the animals or reptiles, amphibians to look out for if you see it. So if you see this, you know what? Don't even touch it. Don't do that because it can possibly kill you because it's venomous. Or, oh, this snake is harmless. Don't worry about it.
Right. And I think that like your story just showcases the importance of like individuality too, and like what one person how one person can connect with so many different people and showcase so many different things too.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Brian helped me with that. Brian and the animals helped me with that. Like, they bust my mind wide open.
Yeah.
So, you have to be open minded to do these kind of things. Like, come to sell and drop everything back home, come out here and not get paid and do it for the animals and get a total fulfillment. Like, that's something that a lot of people wouldn't do. Yeah, oh man, I would love to go to the jungle, but I got this. I need to keep all this. I want to keep all of this and still go
Right.
here and do all of this. Like, it's
Sacrifice, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, there's people that's come here though and volunteered, like for a day or for a week, and they still have everything back home, which is awesome. Like, you can still do that,
That's
but be
great.
prepared.
Yeah.
Be prepared to battle the elements, the bugs. Be prepared. Yeah.
um yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that one day too.
I
I
think
definitely
you
would.
I think you should come out here and film and just and have the experience of hearing the red howler monkeys howl. 'Cause they howl like, at least 2 to 3 times a day, and it's a
Wow.
loud howl. Like, it's more of a roar actually. They're called red howler monkeys, but it's more of a roar. It sounds like
Wow.
a jaguar repeatedly just, or a lion continuously roaring and roaring just over and over and over and over again. And they do that for about a good 15 minutes, uh,
Wow.
to uh, let the other howlers or animals know this is our territory here. Because we got about 4 or 5 different groups of red howlers on the center.
Oh wow. So they're pretty there's a big population of them near
Yeah,
you.
I believe she has about 47 red howlers, and she just had two newborn babies, with two groups. So she
Mm.
successfully breeding these red howlers, and we're going to release them in the wild. So they're going to be released in the groups that they're in. in different
Right.
parts of the jungle. And
That's amazing.
I've never been a part of a release. And that's what I'm looking for. I would love to be a part of a release and see these
Oh,
monkeys go and just be with each other and don't come back. Stay up there. Stay in the trees. Don't come down here.
yeah. Oh, I can imagine how cool that would be to
Yeah,
experience that. I hope that you be are able to do that and then film the experience for us so we can all
yeah,
see it through your eyes too.
yeah. I'm excited for that one. So but yeah, I'm still I'm learning every day. I'm teaching as I'm learning. It's just so many things to take in with this new journey. Like I told Joey, I want to become very valuable to the center so that I can help with anything that these people need.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah.
how I was in my shop. I was very valuable. Everyone came to me for advice. Hey, even to this day, people are messaging me, asking me, "Hey, I just got this snake. Can you help me tell me how to do this?" Because that's what people would do. They would come to me and say, or come to my shop or whatever, and ask me questions about these animals. And I would give them the information they need because some of the information that I got, um, I learned by being hands-on experience. So a lot of the stuff that I know you can't read in a book or find it on Google because I closely observe every animal.
I feel like that's a good spot to wrap up. I know your documentary, when is it coming out?
So sometime in February, I don't have a date, but I'll be releasing, telling you the date, keeping you up. Like
Yeah,
I'll make
perfect.
a post about it and let people
Great.
know.
Awesome. And for more people that want to connect with you and keep up with you and Joey and your experiences, how do they find you?
So you can find like everything is the Yo-Yo Experience, the YOX2 Experience on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. So that's where we at.
Perfect.
It was an honor speaking with you, and I'm super excited to share this with all of the following that I have as well.
So I'm excited too. Thank you so much for coming on. And so thank you, wild ones, for listening and stay tuned on the next one. It was so nice to connect with you, Shaun. And yeah, we'll see you on the next episode.
Revel in the moment like a river flowing to the sea. I feel the energy of life force flowing all through me, and I'll allow it all to dance with my body and play. And no one could ever convince me to give my power